remember going to parties and people being like, "Oh, that's Sheckler," and I'm like, "What are you hating on?" The kids, they were hating on the fact that he had all the chicks and he had all the fame and all the money, but he was still humble to the people he liked.
I don't think he's ever changed. Like, since I've known him since he was like 10, 11 years old. He's always been the same dude.
Yeah. I just wanted to win. So it's like no matter what was happening outside of skateboarding, I always wanted to win. And so like I could do these extracurricular, go to the parties, go on these trips and do all that stuff. But when it came down to competing, I was there for game time, no matter what, through injury. And I was prepared to get severely injured every single contest just to try to win. And I did a lot of times get
that's called heart.
Pretty hurt. I mean, but that's why me and you are friends. And that's why we became friends very early on in my career for sure, because I loved motocross and I loved freestyle, and it was like these guys had the energy that I want, but I couldn't do what they were doing. So
and I loved the passion that he had. Just seeing him as a little kid, just always on like Fuel TV and like I would just see him at like the Etney skate park or like anywhere just shredding, and I'm like, this kid doesn't stop. Like,
and we rode for Etney's together, and it was cool.
One thing I want to ask you guys is why back in the day was in X Games was it always like skate and moto versus BMX? Why was there so much controversy at X Games between the sports, even though you guys
I don't think it was always. It was just certain people who didn't like each other, just cockiness and like, I'm better than, you know what I mean? Just like.
But why don't we see this type of like intensity and rivalry in today's X Games?
Well, because it's not all together right now.
Yeah. And honestly, for me, looking at it, like, it sucks to say, but to me, like, X Games is dead. Like, you don't have all the good moto events. You don't have all the good skate events. It's like.
It's going to make a resurgence, though.
It doesn't have, like, the wow factor that it used to have. Like, everyone sees this shit on social media now.
I mean, there is some, but, like, when you think about it, I think at one point, let's go back to the medals and everything else for me. And again, probably around 2000, I want to say 15 or whatever, I started working in golf and basketball with Klay Thompson and football and all that sort of stuff. But this is my roots, and it's what made me successful in everything else, because the traditional, why I don't do baseball, still transactional. There are guys, Mike Piazza comes back, okay, I'm in. But like my specialty always across what we do is how do you service better than anybody is the non-transactional approach. And most traditional football, basketball, golf agents are transactional.
Yep.
And that's why my early years working with like someone like Ricky Fowler is I knew he would win eventually, but even prior to winning, he was the most marketable guy in golf.
100%.
Period, end of conversation.
Still is
so
to this day.
I knew I could do so many things with him.